There was a boy named Zaccai, restless, bold, and tired of rules. One morning, he looked his father in the eye and said, "Asterisk, give me my share of the estate." It was as if he said, "Asterisk, I wish you were dead." Asterisk. But the father didn't shout. He didn't beg. He just looked at him with tears. Then he divided the inheritance. Zaccai left without a blessing, rich in silver, poor in wisdom. He drank, he danced, he wasted it all. Until the wine ran dry and the friends disappeared. Now alone, feeding pigs, starving, and covered in shame, he whispered, "Asterisk, I'll go home, not as a son, but a servant." Asterisk. What does this story really mean? But what kind of father gives his inheritance while still alive? What was he trying to prove? And if the son does return, what will happen? In a quiet village nestled in the rolling hills of Judea, lived a wealthy man named Eliab. He was known not just for his land and herds, but for his kindness and deep wisdom. Eliab had two sons, Micah, the older, obedient and steadfast, and Zaccai, the younger, bold, restless, and hungry for the world. Zaccai hated the shadows of Micah's obedience. He felt caged by rules, burdened by tradition. At night, he would sneak into town to hear the music of merchants, the laughter of foreigners, the stories of distant lands where no one knew his name, where he could be anything. One morning, before the sun rose, Zaccai stood before his father and said the unthinkable. Asterisk, give me my share of your estate now. Asterisk. It was as if he said, Asterisk, I wish you were dead. Asterisk. Eliab looked into his son's eyes not with anger, but with grief. He divided the inheritance. And Zaccai walked away without a blessing. Zaccai journeyed far to cities, paved in stone, glowing with lamps that never went out. There, he traded his father's silver for silk, his name for popularity, and his values for pleasure. He bought friends with wine, women, and wealth. At every feast, he laughed louder, danced longer. But every night, as he lay drunk in rooms filled with smoke and strangers, a whisper haunted him. Asterisk. What have you become? Asterisk. Then came the drought. The friends vanished. The silver faded. The innkeeper closed his doors, and Zaccai, draped in robes, found himself in rags, begging for work. He landed in the worst job for a Jew, feeding pigs. One night, he sat in the mud, watching swine devour pods he longed to eat. His stomach growled, but his soul ached louder. He thought of home and not the wealth, but the warm smell of bread, the gentle eyes of his father, the silence of the fields. Asterisk. Even the servants there have more than this. Asterisk, he said, tears mixing with the filth on his face. Asterisk. I will return not as a son, but as a servant. Asterisk. Zaccai rehearsed his apology with every dusty step. Asterisk. Father, I have sinned. I am no longer worthy. But what he didn't know was this. His father watched the road every day. And on one morning, while the dew was still fresh, Eliab saw a broken silhouette limping toward the village. Could it be? The hair matted? The walk slower? Yet the outline was forgotten. Sandals flapped. Beard blew in the wind. Servants stared in shock. Zaccai fell to his knees. Father, I have sinned. But before he could finish, Eliab wrapped him in the cloak of grace. Asterisk. Bring the best robe. Kill the fatted calf. My son was dead and now he lives. Micah returned from the field, hearing music and dancing. When he learned what happened, he burned with silent rage. Asterisk. He wasted your money on harlots and you welcome him back with a feast? Asterisk. Eliab, still smelling of pig-stained rags from hugging his lost boy, turned to Micah. Asterisk. You have always been with me, but your brother, he was dead and is alive. He was lost and is found. Asterisk. Did you know? Here are hidden details you might not know about the prodigal son story. The father ran, something wealthy Jewish men never did. Grace breaks culture. The son didn't return because he repented from a pure heart, but because of hunger. Yet the father still accepted him. The robe, ring, and sandals were symbols. Full restoration, not servant status. The older brother, though physically home, was spiritually far. Grace is scandalosed, offends the righteous, and rescues the ruined. This story isn't just about a lost son. It's about us, our rebellion, our brokenness, and a father who embraces our imperfections whenever we return back to him